everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, October 3rd, 2025, and this is Flosstube video number 61. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'd like to say that I'm a general crafting channel with a strong emphasis on cross stitch, but mainly I'm doing cross stitch, a little bit of crochet, and then a few other random crafts here and there, one of which is wire wrapping, which is in my intro. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're new or whether you're returning. So I'm going to hop right into it, try to make this as quickly as possible. I have not ordered anything. I have not purchased anything except for the things that I've needed for all of my projects this year, and I've been very good other than that. So no purchases this past week, nothing to speak of on that front. So just straight into it. Last week when I filmed, I said that I was going to end project 1, 2, and 4 where they were, and then on the last 2 days of the month, I was going to focus on project 3, which was the Tilton Crafts Winter in the Shire. And so I still didn't hit my big goal. Where is that in here? I still didn't hit my big goal, but I got a lot of it knocked out. So I don't know how well you can see this, since it's 3865 on, this is 25 count easy grid that I got from 123 Stitch, and it's 1/1. I decided to do this by color completion, and so I've just been working on down here in this area, working on it. So this is where I have ended for the month. And the 2 days that I got to work on it, I put in 6 hours, 49 minutes, and 22 seconds. And it's brought my total project time to 64 hours, 35 minutes, and 16 seconds. Now, when I worked on it on Monday, I put in 1,027 stitches. And then when I worked on it on Tuesday, I put in 1,023 stitches. So between those 2 days, I did get to put in 2,050 stitches. And I still have 2,533 stitches left of 3865. So when I pick this back up in January, I will still be working with 3865, but hopefully halfway through the month, I will be switching to the next color. So I am at 16,949 stitches out of 122,500, and I'm at 13.84%. So while I did not get to finish that color out that last month like I was hoping, I am very pleased with where I did get to finish it out on. So one more time, one more rotation with 3865, and it is done. So bringing us now to the projects that I have started in October. Project number 1 is Mirabilia's August Peridot Fairy. Now, project number 1 is the one that I call favorite designer, and I switch off from month to month, but I am doing my top 4 favorite designers. So for October, we're with Mirabilia, or Nora Corbett, however you want to refer to it, but this one specifically is a Mirabilia versus a Nora Corbett. But anyway, it is the August Peridot Fairy. And I am doing this on, this is BestitchMe Wild Bouquet, and this is done on 28 count Opal Lugana. And so here is where I've been working. I finished the first quarter out, and the only little bit of beading that I did on it was the beading that was in the wand part, just because I could not count. So I've just been working in this wing. I would do like a strand of black over here, and then I went over to like this color, and finished it out over here, and then if it was here, I would do it here, and if I still had on this strand that color, I would do it over here, and then I would put in like another strand of black, and then I would do the next color down, and I would just sort of rotate through until either the strand of color was finished or I did a full strand of black, because the main color in her wings is black. Oh my goodness. The trash truck is outside. I've never heard it that loud. I don't know if you could hear it or not. So anyway, quite a little bit of progress. This one, I don't have full stats on it because it's a paper pattern and I've scanned it and I'm using a PDF reader on my computer to do it. But I did not get to work on it October 1st, but I did get to work on it October 2nd. And when I worked on it October 2nd, I put in 57 minutes and 21 seconds. And that has brought my total time on project number 1 to 37 hours, 27 minutes, and 45 seconds. And then project number 2 is a new start this month. My project number 2 is either a Blackwork or a sampler. Last month it was the sampler, so I've moved on to the Blackwork for this month. And in August, I finished the Blackwork that I had been working on for over a year. So now that that one was finished, it was time to do a new start. And a couple of videos ago, I did a Come Dye With Me video for the first 55 minutes of the video where I dyed that fabric. So it's 18 count fabric, Aida, 18 count Aida that I hand dyed myself with you guys. And I'm doing this all backwards. Where's the big picture? So this is the Orchid Blackwork pattern from Loose Thread Stitchery. And because it's charted on the black fabric, that's why I dyed my own fabric. Right. So here is where I am on it. I did get to start it on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm stitching it from the middle out. And I can honestly say when I first started, the first color that I started with was white. And I did not like how the white was laying down. But as I got some of the pinks in, because there's two pinks here. Here's a lighter pink and then a darker pink. After I started getting the darker pink in, then I liked how it was starting to lay out. But I've got a couple colors on here. I've got white, I've got pink, I've got darker pink, and then I've got yellow or yellow green. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Like I said, when I first started putting the white on, since that was the first color, I was like, I don't know if I like how this is laying. But then once the other colors got in, I was like, okay, never mind. I'm crazy. So project number 2, I got to work on it 2 days this week. And with those 2 days, I put in 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 26 seconds. So that's my total time on the project since it's a brand new start. And I did officially start it on October 1st. And then project number 3 is Nene Thomas's Waterfalls of Jade. And I did get this directly off of her website. So here's where I am on it. I'm just going along the top. I'm using the Stitching Mommy's typewriter method essentially. I'm picking a 10 by 10 block and I'm picking a symbol and either I'm stitching it through that 10 by 10 block and then I'm either bringing it down to the next block and parking it, or I'm parking it in the next block over. And then so I'm just going from left to right and I'm going to keep going all the way over. So that is 22 count Hardinger that I dyed myself. And I believe that I did a come dye with me video, so there should be a link in the description on it. And so I did get to work on this Monday and Tuesday, and with those 2 days, I put in 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 48 seconds, and it's brought my total time to 20 hours, 40 minutes, and 37 seconds. And with those 2 days, when I did my stitching, I got to put in 157 stitches. I know it's not a lot, but it's so confetti heavy that it takes time. It's the Tilton Crafts one, because I'm just focusing on one color, it's like I'm blowing through it. I was easily able to get close to 300 stitches in, the hour, the 50, 55 minutes that I was working on it. And this one, I'm, putting in this week. I didn't quite get to work on it an hour at a time. The first day I got to work on it 26 minutes, which wasn't very much. And then I got to work on it the next time for 45 minutes. So, I mean, it just takes time because of all the confetti. But anyway, I'm at 1,967 stitches out of 244,860 stitches, and I'm at 0.80%. So 0.80%. So this one is definitely going to take a long time to do, and that's okay. So far, I'm just enjoying the process of stitching. And I did start this one 1/1, but I didn't quite like the coverage of it. I felt like I was seeing too much of the fabric through my stitches. So I did go ahead and switch over to 2/2, and I do like that coverage just a little bit better. I'm not going to go back and redo the stitches that I've already done because you really can't tell the difference unless you're 3 inches from it. So I'm the only person that is ever that close to it. And so I'm just letting it go. All right. And then project 4 is my Stashbuster piece. And I'm working on the Dimensions Indian Peacock this month. And I did not get to work on this very much this week. I only got to put in maybe 50 stitches on it. I don't know exactly how many because this is a paper pattern, but I put in whatever color string that I had that was currently on my needle. I finished out that strand, which was like one of these pale colors in the flower, and then I picked one of the darker colors down here to start filling in the gap that was down here. So I'm just finishing out these flowers that are up here, and then this section will be done. And I appear to be missing my needle and my needle minder, so that's fun. That I am using the kit fabric. It is 14 count natural Aida. I opted not to dye this one because part of the thing with Dimensions kit is they create textures by using either multiple strands, like sometimes it's one strand, sometimes it's two strands, sometimes it's four strands. And then it will also mix half crosses with crosses. And so I didn't want to mess up whatever texture it was going to be putting into the background of that piece with the half crosses and the full crosses and the single strands versus the double strands versus the four strands. So I left it how it was. I didn't dye anything, and that's where it is. Hold on. I didn't put this back in my book. It's my little marker to help me find which project is which. Okay, so then project 4 is actually in this notebook. And yeah, I didn't get to work on it as much this week. I only got to put in 16 minutes and 46 seconds. So I did not get to work on it hardly at all. Just a handful of stitches. But anyway, it's brought my total project time to 27 hours, 56 minutes, and 25 seconds. And then, let me think. I did not work on any crochet this past week. Oh, and the weekends, I spun my decision wheel for something to work on. And I pulled this pre-printed kit that I got of the white peacock. It's not, this is actually a sticker, and I'm using it in the bag as my reference material, so it's like, I'm just trying to straighten it up as I'm holding it. And so I've just been working along the top. I finished out, I think when I started working on it, I was over here where this last little bit of yellow was. And so like I finished out the black and I finished it all out over here. And then I went over here. So, okay. So this is 310 over here. And this is, I don't remember what color right now. $8.23. So it's like a dark navy blue. But that's where I am now on it. I'm now in the second row. And I'm just going left to right, doing it as I go. If like whatever color it is, if it continues down, I'm just stitching it down. I'll cut the thread and move to a new area, like here to here. I cut it and then move down here. But I'm finishing up that strand on my needle. And then also towards the weekend, I did another new start, sort of. It's another one of those kits. It was this one. I had previously also been working on a dark purple one, but this more pink looking landscape matches what I'm doing in my living room that you can't really see here, but in my older videos from last year when I used to film at my kitchen table, you could see my living room behind me. And the living room is painted a very pale purple. And then I have a stencil that goes along the top of the room of cherry blossoms that hang down. And so this, with its pinks and little bits of purple and the cherry blossom trees, is perfect. And it's one that I really would like to actually finish, wash out all the pre-printed stuff, and then frame it to go in my living room because it would just match what it is. So I've sort of decided that this is kind of like I don't want to call it a daily 30, but I've at least been putting in one strand a day since I started it. And this one's huge. I'll show you how big it is. it's enormous. And so it's gonna take a really, really long time. It's like 600 by 230, something like that. But it's really big. And even if I don't get to put in more than one strand a day, at least I'm getting in or going to put in a strand a day. And that's just a thought that I have that I've been working on. So because it's so big, I'm actually working on it like this. So this is my left, this is my right. And so I started here and I've been working down and I'm right here. So it's just the start of some background, some sky, some mountains, and there's actually the start of the cherry blossoms. Now, to see it a little bit better, here's it on the back so that you can see where my progress is better on this side. Now, already I noticed that there's a discrepancy between the picture, the source material, and what's here. This is very much a brighter pink than what this is. This is more of like a very pale cream. It's 819, so it's more of a cream color than a pink, but in comparison to the 3865, it definitely does have more of a peachy kind of tone as opposed to the more whiter kind of tone. But anyway, so this is one of these little, I called it a crappy project before, or like an easy project before, like a no-brain kind of project, because it's very easy on this one, especially, to see what the colors are. I don't have to think about where I'm counting to because I'm not counting. I'm just filling in the color. And so this is something that's easy for me to work on the weekends when my family is around. What was that? I think a fly just tried to dive bomb me. This is something that I can work on and easily put up and put down and not have to question where I was, where I'm counting to. So I call this like an easier, almost no-brain project, but it's not. I'm still cross-stitching and, I'm still using a method as I go since I'm, doing it this way. And I'm kind of doing it like the typewriter from left to right, but there are actually bigger blocks of color. And in fact, the next color that I'm moving on to in this section is 310. So there's a big area of 310 in here that I'm going to get to. But yeah, this one, of all of the ones that I got, this one is one that I did plan to put on my wall. I just, when I ordered the projects and they came, 4 of the 5 shipped out right away, and then this one didn't get shipped out at the same time, so this one came much later. And I think that's why I didn't really work on it as soon as I did. It just sort of got pushed off to the side once it came, and I was working on all the others because I have like 4 others, and you've seen them all. It's this white peacock, there's the butterfly, and there's the landscape. And have I started the other one? No, I haven't started the other one. The other one is a vase of flowers, and I'm not really in the mood to do that one. And like I said, with the exception of this one, this pink one with all the cherry blossoms, this was the only one that I intentionally bought with the purpose of really wanting to complete it and put it up on my wall to put up in the living room. But that's it. That's all that I've been working on. So Next week, I am covering a shift for one of the other ladies that I work with. So I will not be filming next week. And let me pause this really quick for a second. All right, I had to check the school calendar. So on the 17th and the 24th, my kids will be home because it will be fall break. I will make the effort to film. I might be down in my basement, which the lighting is not great, but I'm not in danger of being walked in on like I am right here. Like right here, I'm in the central part of my house. The front door is just right over there. This area that we're in is on the floor plans, it would be a formal living room and a formal dining room, but we didn't have a need for that. And I'm not a party person that invites people over and has, dinners and things like that. So this is more or less my library. I've got a couch over by the big picture window, and that's where I do a lot of my cross stitching at because of the natural lighting. And then all along the edges, I've got bookshelves, and it's my enormous book collection. And I've got a couple of papasan chairs, and then, you can see the fish tank in the back. There's no fish in it. It's just a waterscape tank right now. The only aquatic animal that I have right now is a tank snail, and it's not in that tank, it's in the tank that's over there. My husband also put this desk, and this is the family computer. Not that I'm using the family computer because I'm actually on my laptop, but I mean, this is the desk, and so this is kind of the central part of the house. The kitchen's on the other side of this wall, and the living room is right behind me. So this is pretty central to everything. And when my kids are here, even if I tell them, don't come down, don't bother me or something, I know that I would get like little peeking faces at the stairs right here. So I'm just going to try to either do it before they wake up, or just I'll be down in the basement and do it from there for those few weeks. And then again, I will also not be filming on Halloween. I'm covering that shift for the same lady. But then we lucked out because they made the decision that we're going to close at 6 because of trick or treating. Like, no, everybody's like, nobody's going to be coming to gymnastics at night. So I will get to do trick or treating with my kids that night. So I'm happy. I'm excited. Everything is going well. I don't have really any big life updates. As far as reading goes, which I do talk about sometimes, I am on book 2 of the Outlander series, and it's called Dragonfly in Amber. Dragonfly in Amber. I don't know if I pronounced that very well the first time. So I'm reading that as like a long-term goal. My husband got me the book series for Christmas, and it took me a little while to actually start it, but I am reading that. And then from my library, I am on book 2. I think it's a trilogy. I know there's at least 3 books. It's called The Legendborn Cycle is the series. And who's the author? Let me pull it up. So I am getting this from my library, but I'm getting the audiobook, and I listen to it to and from work. So the author is Tracy Dion, and book 2 is called Bloodmarked. And I really like the story that's being told. It's about, in this universe, King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table were all real people, and through a magic spell, that Merlin cast hundreds of thousands of years ago. Their bloodlines have continued to modern day. And when demons are trying to rise up and overthrow or control the once born, which is what they call humans, these legend born, the ones of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, their descendants can gain the powers and abilities of King Arthur or Lancelot or Galahad or Gawain or the different knights of the table. And in the first book, the main character is introduced to this whole world that she never knew existed. And in the second book, she is in the thick of it. Like, she is well enmeshed in this society. And so I'm at 89% done on it. I'm almost done on it. And this is the second time that I've had to get the book from the library, because I listened to it the first time, and like I said, I'm just listening to it to and from work, so it doesn't afford me with being able to listen to it the first time. So this is the second time that I've had it, and I have like one more week with it before the library takes it back, and I have to decide if I'm going to try to get it a third time. Like, I'm gonna try to finish it. I've only got how much more time on it? 2 hours and 23 minutes left. So I should be able to finish it up next week and then go on to the third book. But so I've been reading that. I did say it's called Bloodmarked. The first book is called Legendborn. The second book is called Bloodmark. And I think the third book is called Oathbound. I think. Not 100% sure. So I've been reading that, or listening to it. And what else have I been reading? It's really tricky in my reading because I have a reading streak in my Kindle app. And right now, I'm at 114 days that I've read every single day. And if I read a physical book, I can't log it into my Kindle app and get the credit for it. So I have to read it through the Kindle app in order to get credit for it. And even if I were to log it into Goodreads, even though Goodreads and Kindle are tied together now, it still doesn't count that as reading it. So I've been reading Dragonfly and Amber on my Kindle app through the library, even though I have the physical book. And then when I listen to the audiobook, it actually generally does the audiobook through the Libby app. And so I have to like manually log that into Goodreads for it to count my reading on that. And then so I had pulled one of my books off my bookshelf, and then I went through the library system and I had rented it. And so I had also been reading oh goodness, Guilty Pleasures by Laurel K. Hamilton, and that's one that I have on my bookshelf, but I got it through the library so that I could read it on my Kindle too, so that it would help count for my reading streak. I'm crazy. I know, it's so weird. And then I found out that I'm this weird overachiever. And in the Kindle app, it gives you reading challenges. And last year, when I downloaded the Kindle app onto my phone, that's when I found out about these reading challenges. And then it became a struggle on trying to work on the reading challenges to get these bookmarks. And so this is for October's. It just started the other day. So I do have my first bookmark for October's well, it's not October's reading challenge. It's the year-end Kindle challenge, and there's 89 more days left in this challenge. But I can say that I am one book away from hitting my goal for the year of reading. And my goal is always 52 books in a year. And my thought process behind that is if I read one book a year or one book a week, I will have read, books through the entire year. And so that's my thought process when I make my goals for Goodreads. And so 52 is always my goal. And if I overpass it, I'm happy. And if I do under, I'm better luck next year kind of thing. And so for this year, for 2025, I am one book away from hitting my goal. So I'm at 51 books read for the year. And I am quite happy with that. Is there anything else? I can't really think of anything that I regularly talk about. So with that, I will see everyone not next week, but the following week, and probably in my basement because my kids will be home for fall break. I know 2 weeks of fall break. I feel like the school year just started and we're already stopping for the first break of the year. It's crazy, I know. So anyway, I will keep putting in one strand a day at the very least on this one. On Fridays and the weekends, I seem to have a little bit more time that I can focus in on these little side projects, but I might do this as not as a focus piece, but this is my, at the very least, one strand a day on it. And I'm hoping to get that done in a couple of years. That's the problem. There's too many really cool projects and not enough time to do every single project. That's my conundrum. I never have enough time to do everything that I want to do. So the dog wants to go out. So I will see everyone in 2 weeks.